Hey everybody, welcome back to Iron Trident Gaming, and we are going to continue with Chapter 6 of our Fire Emblem 7 playthrough for the GBA. So in the last mission, the really only thing of note is we did pick up 2 new units. We picked up Sarah, the Staffbot Cleric, and Urk, the somewhat useful Mage. So we're going to go ahead and get into Chapter 6. So we're a little bit more than halfway through Lin mode. Aka almost to the start of the actual game. So here we are in Chapter 6. We have one of our favorite units, Sane. He's going to start, wooing on some women in a second because he's a big womanizer, aka pedophile. This chapter, same thing. It's another chapter in Lin mode. So like I just said, we're a little bit more than halfway through Lin mode. I believe it's either chapter 11 or chapter 12 starts Elliewood mode, aka like the real official start of the game. So we're still sort of in this pseudo tutorial, if you will. So in this chapter, this is one of the more. It's definitely not a difficult chapter like vast majority of Lin mode, but we are going to pick up a couple more characters here. It's going to introduce another couple classes, which we'll talk about in a second. And we're just going to go through our cutscene here. Got some more, some snarky looking bandits. This dude just has the face, like the most punchable face I've ever seen. And then we're going to get introduced to our first new unit right here, our boy Rath, with his really cool critical, twirling his arrow and then shooting it through someone's face. So Rath is going to join right now. And he said, "Arg!" So he also turns people into fucking pirates, I guess. So we're going to get introduced to Rath right here. Rath is a nomad. So he is a mounted unit, which, for ranking units, he gets a star added on just from being mounted, but he is a bow-locked unit. We're going to look at his stats in a second. So he gets... for doing star rankings, he gets a star for being mounted, and then he also loses like half a star for being locked at 2 range. He can promote. You can recruit him later on in the game, and he can promote. He stays mounted, and once he promotes, he gets access to swords. And we'll talk about it when we get there. His promotion is kind of buns because he gets swords, which is a pretty weak weapon triangle, and he gets bows. And then we'll also get Matthew, who we're now being introduced to, who just broke into this lady's home. And she's just okay. So everyone in this game is just okay with people just like breaking into your homes. So Rath here is talking about how the Marcus, he is basically the head of security, if you will, for the lord of this little town. And we're going to get introduced to door locks and chests and things like that. So we're going to take a look at our new boy Rath here in a second. She keeps calling me Dumbo, but is always asking me what to do, so I don't know what that's all about. So look at Rath. Comes in level 7 Nomad, 25 HP. Comes equipped with a short bow, C bows. Stats are pretty solid. 8 strength, 9 skill, 10 speed. Good defense for Cav, 7 defense, 7 move, Constitution 8. But he is a level 7, so he's good stats for this point in the game, but he's locked to bows, so take that as you will. We'll look at our girl Lynn here real quick. Still level 5 Lord. Did get that sword rank up a little bit, but she's still a pretty trash unit. And then we'll get introduced to this fella right here, our first thief of the game, Mr. Matthew. And Lynn's gonna tell him that, she has no need for him, even though she just broke into this lady's house and he broke into it earlier. So I guess that's what they're arguing about is, she wanted whatever the fuck is on the kettle right there, and Matthew ate all of it. But all jokes aside, we're going to get introduced to Matthew right here. Take a look at him, level 2 thief, 4 strength and skill, 11 speed, really low defense, no res. So he will just melt if he gets hit. He does come equipped with a lockpick, which has 15 uses, so we'll see it right here. Basically, his only use in the game is to pick doors and pick chests. Really should not be used for any sort of combat whatsoever, so if you're playing through this game for the first time, this is not the only Fire Emblem game where you really shouldn't use thieves in any sort of combat unless you're just dealing chip damage where you're not going to die when you get hit back, or you're feeding them kills to promote. So that right there, that was a new enemy type that I just showed real quick. By far the worst units in the game are soldiers with their comically low stats. So I think it's just people that they picked up random people off the street and shoved the spear in their hand and said, okay. So we'll start off with Will, get him a little bit of work, and get some work in for our boy Urk. And we'll get a level up for Urk right here. From level 2, HP, magic, and defense. So not bad level up for Urk. And then let's see if we can feed Florina a kill here. She's not going to kill him, but we'll give her some chip damage from EXP. We'll kill this guy off next turn. And we'll get a Florina level up. And we'll get HP, skill, luck. Garbage, but that's all right. And we got to give Dorcas something to do, so we'll have him break into this old man's house and steal his coffee and his soup. Very good. And then Sarah, we'll have her break into this former porn star's house, and he's going to give us a key to something. So that's why I said in last chapter, there's really no reason not to go into houses and things like that you can, because sometimes you will get money or useful items. So he gave us a key right there, so that'll unlock any door in the game, which is useful. So our beefy boys, Zane and Kent. Kent just got the kill. Oh, and he's going to go after Urk. Okay. So get a quick another kill for Urk here, and it really looks like he gives people the finger when he does his animation. So I'm Team Urk right now. So we're gonna skip that. So we just saw Matthew unlock the door. He can also unlock chests that you'll find out throughout the game, and we'll get an angelic robe, which is one of the better items that you can get in the game. So it introduces us to that. I believe if you give the person that you give that to, I believe it buffs up their HP by, I think it's 10 points. So we're not going to use that yet. We'll wait a little bit to see who's going to be the official wearer of the angelic robe. So really, this level 2, other than giving us Rath, who I really like as a unit, I just like his design. I like the fact that he is a mounted bow unit, but he's clearly much more useful than our boy Will, who finishes our breaking into people's houses down there. But being bow locked in this game is just not great. But if you like bows and you like horses, Rath is a pretty cool unit. Later in the game you can recruit him. Again, you can promote him. So he's not a useless unit. He's halfway decent. And, so it gives us Matthew and introduces lockpicking and chests and doors, which we'll find throughout the rest of the game. It gives us the 2 new units here. And then it, introduces us to a new unit type, which you'll see Florina actually smoke right here, which are these guys, just generic soldiers. These guys are really just used for EXP. Even Dorcas would smoke these guys like nothing. Ooh, get another soldier in there, so don't know who I want to feed that one to yet. And Will, as usual, is down there, just, drinking tea and doing stuff. So Florina's going to get a couple kills right here. So I'm not going to say soldiers are useless. They're great for... we don't even get full 30 XP for that. We get, whatever that was, 15, so... Yeah, soldiers are a joke in this game. And then we'll do that door lock. And then it will introduce us to a new I guess another new type, an armored knight. Which we'll look at him in a second. And we might feed that kill to our boy Urk, because we'll look at the boss here in a second, but armor knights actually just absolutely melt to any sort of magic. And then we get an armor slayer from that one, so you can either use an armor slayer magic on Bull, the level 5 knight. So high defense, high constitution, high defense, so he will take hits, but as you see, the absolute no res, so he will just absolutely melt any sort of magic. That armor slayer that we just got, you can also equip that to somebody too. That'll just chew through his armor as well. So we'll give Sane a little bit of work. We'll have him shove his big pointy stick through that guy's face, and he'll get a cool level up here. Ooh, strength, okay. Not bad, but, that was horrible, but that's all right. You're not Dorcas, so that's no big deal. Dorcas, come on, man. What can you do? You know what? Let's see if you can do some chip. Yeah, we'll do some chip damage with Urk. Bah, Lady Lindris and her cadre. Like I said, so he looks like a big tough guy. We'll see these armor knights all throughout the game, and all of them will all melt to magic, even though the Urk, I think, is like a level 1 or 2 magic. And our boy Dorcas is going to get the kill. That a boy, Dorcas. I know you had it in you. Ooh, man, what a great chapter. Dorcas kills the boss and a level up. It's going to be garbage, I know it. Yeah, HP. So, Dorcas, man, I know. It's okay. So then you hit the last trigger there. That opens it up. The hidden passageway. And that is going to be the end of our chapter. So we will go through this cutscene. So this is where the story picks up a little bit. This is the guy who's supposed to be in charge of this town's defense, and I guess he was like napping or something. So he's going to talk to Lynn, and he's basically going to say that, the people that just ransacked his town were, he blames her for it, so he's going to call her like some racist slurs and stuff. So we're slowly learning who Lynn is. This chump clearly knows who it is, and Sane, because he's he got some bonus points right there because he was about to just backhand this dude. But yeah, so we'll continue on in the next chapter. Thanks for watching.